Warrick Dunn, welcome. Good to have you with us.
I appreciate you having me.
You know, Warrick, you had an amazing career, one of 23 running backs with more than 10,000 yards in the NFL. Some people call you the most underrated back in NFL history, but be that as it may, congratulations on a great career.
Thank
You're
you.
one of the few guys, former players, to become an owner of an NFL, or part owner of an NFL franchise. Tell me how that came about, and why do you think it is that so few guys are?
Well, I can tell you that it's tough. I mean, this is a relationship business, and you have to be invited to be an owner, a part owner, limited partner. But in my case, when I was playing with the Atlanta Falcons at this particular time in my life, I was just asking Mr. Blank, different questions and trying to figure out what I was going to do after I retired from the game. And he just made a statement to me, do you want to coach? It's like, nah, I would rather be upstairs with you in the box. And we talked about it. I went and saw some of his business partners and tried to find out what I was passionate about. And I think just over the course of time, just came to the realization that, you know what, I would love to be a partner with you. And when the Falcons released me, he's just like, hey, well, you had a great career, go finish your career off somewhere, but when you're finished with the game of football, I would love to call you a partner. And
so it grew out of a relationship that you had with Arthur Blank, who owns the Falcons,
yes,
of course, co-founder of Home Depot. Your book, Running for My Life, which I have here and I've been reading, it is a fantastic book about your life's journey, and it explains a lot why charity has become such a core of yours, and was from your first year in the team's working out down there, was from your first year. Why has charity become something so important to you? And I just wanted to highlight it. Your Homes for the Holidays have put more than 150 families of single-parent homes, like you grew up, in homes.
Right now we're up to 155 single-parent homes, and we're coming up on our 20th year anniversary of the Homes for the Holidays program. And I can tell you, when I lost my mom when I was a senior in high school, 18 years old, being oldest of 6, I understand and I understood her struggle to put us in an environment where we can feel safe and comfort and have confidence. I could just tell you that the city of Baton Rouge, when my mom was shot and killed in line of duty, ambushed, the city of Baton Rouge wrapped their arm around us, my family, and they took us in. They donated money, and that's how we were able to pay bills over the next few years. And they taught me what it means to give back and care about your neighbor. And I think I've just taken that and just tried to pay it back 100-fold. Every community that I have lived in, I've tried to help families not go through what I went through.
But it really stood out to me that this was an impulse that came to you very naturally and very young.
Well,
but important, and when you say you lost your mom when you were young, you didn't just lose your mom. She was murdered in cold blood as part of a robbery while she was an on-duty Baton Rouge police officer.
Well, she was ambushed.
She was ambushed.
She was ambushed in a line of duty. And it was just one of those things that you have to make decisions in that moment of how you're going to respond. And in that moment, I thought about my family. I needed to make sure that those guys were going to be okay. So I had to make decisions on that.
And you effectively became the man of the house there, the parent.
I became their parent, their
to
guardian.
Your 3 brothers and 2 sisters. Now you had a grandma who helped as well. Mm-hmm. But then you had to do that while you were a full-time college football player at Florida State.
Yeah, well, that was the challenging part, because I decided to go to Florida State, leaving home. And that was my senior year. My mom was shot and killed. So
senior year of high school.
Senior year of high school, and you have to make a decision if you're going to stay home and help with the kids, or am I going to go off and live my dream?
Yeah.
And I decided to go off, and I had assurances from my support system there that everything is going to be okay. But also, Coach Bobby Bowden at that time, he had an open door policy for me to come in and talk to him about any issues that I would have, and that I could go home at a moment's notice. And it was just weird, because I was trying to raise kids from afar. And when you're on the phone trying to discipline
your little brother,
my little brothers and sister,
Yeah.
it was tough.
You know, it's also one of the things I'd like to point out here is that one of the homes for the holidays
Right.
was occupied by one of last year's great players in college
Right.
football, Deshaun Watson, now with the Houston Texans.
Right.
You really did pay it forward or give it back.
Well, sometimes I've always said, sometimes you plant seeds. You never know how they're going to grow. And he's just been a great ambassador for us, an example that when you plant a seed and help a family and you put a kid in an environment, you never know what's going to happen. And he's just really blossomed into a great young man, a great football player, but most importantly, he's gone back and he's helped other families by helping on Habitat homes and so forth. So I commend just the person that he is, but how he took a gift, the hard work and the commitment of his mom, and he's paid it forward.
And you have partners in your charity. Aaron's Furniture helps supply some of
Yes,
the
sir.
furnishings for homes, NFL, Delta Airlines, and others. You helped raise $5 million for victims of Katrina back then. We've gone through a big hurricane this past weekend, and I'm sure you'll be involved in some of that. Let's talk about a couple of the challenges facing the NFL as we go into this new season. And one is the concern over player safety with CTE, the traumatic brain injury. You say you never had a concussion. How existential is the threat of player injury to the future of the NFL?
Well, I just think,
is it a real risk to this business?
well, everything is a risk. I think just driving the car every day is a risk. I don't think we should abandon the game of football because of CTE. I just think it's something that we weren't aware of, and now, as a league, we're taking a position that we're going to learn as much as we can about CTE, just about the body in general, but most importantly, what we're going to do about it. We're putting money towards research. We're trying to educate guys. We're trying to educate players. We're trying to educate coaches. And now you have to educate the parents who may not want their kids to play
Would you
football.
let your son or daughter play?
Yes, sir.
You would?
Yes, sir. I would. And I think the NFL, over the course of time, has put a lot of money towards research, but also we're making sure that coaches are certified to coach the game properly. A lot of times when growing up, I remember playing Little League football, and a dad may come out of the stands and start working with the team, and now he's a coach. Doesn't mean that he's been certified to coach that position.
Teach that technique, the right
Correct.
technique. Don't lead with your head.
Don't lead with your head. So I grew up learning the proper way to block, tackle, run, protect myself, and I just think, moving forward, coaches have to be certified. I think they should have more programs that coaches are certified to teach certain positions in the game of football, which you can't stop, contact. You're not going to stop car wrecks on the highway, but we could prepare ourselves the proper way to block, tackle, and hit people. So
now let's talk a little bit about one that is also a very delicate topic.
Right.
And you, as a part owner and a former player, you've got lots of brothers on the field still.
Right.
Let's talk about Colin Kaepernick.
Okay.
And the fact that he has so far not been able to find a job. Is something wrong there? What's your position on that?
Well, I think Colin has taken a position on social issues, and I commend him for that. And I don't think he should be punished because of his social stance. So I don't agree with that. But then I've also had opportunity to call front office personnel, individuals that I know, to say, how did he play on the field? How did he perform? And honestly, he didn't perform very well last year. And maybe there's a lot of factors in that. But I still think that no matter what, this guy should be on the NFL roster.
Yeah.
I mean, he's better than a lot of third-team guys. It could be a backup in many situations or a starter in a few situations in this league. So I am a little concerned that he's not on a roster today. But Kaepernick also has to take it upon himself to put himself in a position to let people know where he stands on certain issues and so forth. And I don't think he's done that.
There is nobody I can think of
Right.
who could speak more authentically about this than you because of what happened in your family. Because Kaepernick was really protesting the way African Americans are treated by law enforcement in this country.
And I commend that. I had no issues with Kaepernick's stance. I don't think that affects the game of football. That is a social stance, and he shouldn't be reprimanded for that. I think where he lost a lot of individuals that supported his cause is that when he didn't vote in the election last year, it's all the things that you stand for and you don't vote. That hurts.
Would you advise Dan Quinn, the coach, would you advise Arthur Blank, the owner, to give him a shot?
Yes, I would. We're all athletes. No one's perfect. We've had coaches that made mistakes. They also had second chances. I think you have to give people the opportunity. One social cause shouldn't change the fact that you're not able to get on the football field and play the game that you love.
Warrick, thank you so much for your time today.
I appreciate it.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.